Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining. My name is 𝘗𝘠𝘪𝘵, and today I will be the co-host slash co-moderator of the webinar. Today we are going to talk about umbrella topic for today is kind of studying environmental sciences in Germany, but of course, and we have during this kind of subject webinars, I'm not alone, and we have some guests, thankfully, who will introduce to you their unique study programs and try to answer your questions. Regarding the questions, you can see the Q&A button just in the bottom part of your Zoom interface. It is already open. It will be open until the very end of the webinar, and you can already start sending in your questions. Some of them might be addressed in the written form. Others also we will reserve them for the live Q&A session. So live Q&A session will start in around an hour. So your questions also will be addressed live by one of our guests. That's why my suggestion would be as long as possible to stay tuned to get your questions answered. Also, you can see the chat button. Also, although you cannot yourself use the chat, but we can use the chat, and our guests can use the chat, and we might also provide you with some interesting information. So keep an eye on the chat as well. Long story short, let me jump into my short presentation before we move to our guests. So here's how agenda looks like for today. We'll start with Kiel University, and we'll start with a Master of Science level program in Agri-Genomics. And we have Dr. Nazgul Emrani, who will present to you this study program. And then we'll move to another study program in Kiel University, and it's called Master of Science program in Environmental Management. And we have Professor Dr. Dikota and also Professor Dr. Donath, and they will talk about environmental management, as I said. And we are closing the show with our guest from Freiburg, TU Bergakademie Freiburg, who will talk about Master of Science level program in groundwater management. So let me start with the boring part, my part. So who is behind today's webinar for those who do not know? So we are my German university. We are Germany's largest database when it comes to English taught study programs. So when you're searching for English, at least mostly English taught study programs in Germany, our name will pop up. We have over 2,700 degree programs listed in our database on bachelor level, on master's level. Of course, we have some short courses and language courses as well listed in our database. So our main goal is to help international students like you toward their way to studying in Germany. And we do that in several ways. One of those ways is our study finder. You can see that now on your screens, the study finder, the small version of our study finder, and not all of its filters are visible here, but when you go to our website, you can see all of its filters of our study finder, and which by using that, you will make your life much easier in terms of finding the passing program, suitable program, much easier and time efficiently. So yeah, there are lots of filters that you can employ, and my suggestion would be to do that at your leisure. Also, we have various articles, more than 150 comprehensive articles on different topics, of course, regarding studying in Germany. For example, for those who need APS certificate, we have also articles on that. For those who need blocked account, for example, to come and study in Germany. For those who are interested in masters or in German or bachelors in Germany, Hochschulstart, in language requirements, in rankings, domestic, international. So all of these topics are covered, and we do quite a deep dive. So again, you can read those articles. They're also for free. And last but not least, we organize also webinars, various webinars on different topics regarding studying in Germany, of course. It can be, for example, general webinars about scholarships, about visa, about UniAssist, and more. And the subject webinars, like the one that you're attending right now, but on different subjects, of course. It can be, for example, studying environmental science in Germany, studying mechanical engineering in Germany, studying MBA in Germany, and so on and so forth. All of the webinars that are already planned, you can sign up for them for free, and also, of course, attend them for free. And our team is based in Hamburg, in northern Germany, but we are all over Germany and all over the world, that we are counseling in different languages. So for those who are also interested in German taught study programs, my suggestion would be also to check out Hochschulkompass. There you might find some interesting programs in this discipline. However, if you are more into English taught study programs, then of course my German university and our study finder should be your stop. As I said, we have various bachelor master's programs, and you can see that most of them are in English only, meaning that you do not need any knowledge of German to get into those programs, and in most cases to successfully complete them. For those who are not aware of what to expect when it comes to studying environmental science in Germany and you would like to have a kind of bigger picture regarding the rankings of universities who are offering the study programs in these disciplines or the tuition fee ranges, etc., you can have this through our subject pages. There we have this kind of general overview of the interesting details for you, and this will be a very nice first step towards raising your awareness in this direction. And yeah, of course, finding the right university profile and study program is of utmost importance. That's why you shouldn't be guided alone by sole aspects, like only by the city names, only by rankings, only by fees, and so on and so forth. Of course, yeah, you should combine them and also even go farther by including also different aspects based on your interests, based on your background, and also on your professional aspirations. Only by doing that you'll be able to make the right choice by choose the right program, which is one of the crucial steps towards your successful career, of course. Also, I would like to say that in Germany there are two key types of universities. One is called Universität in German, and another in English it's called University of Applied Sciences. In German has some variations like Hochschule, Fachhochschule, and the main difference between these two types of universities actually is in focus. So in general, when we are talking about Universität type of university, we are more talking about research and theory, and in case of University of Applied Sciences, we are usually more talking about application and practice. And last but not least, in addition to the aspects that I mentioned before that you should ideally take into account when you're searching for the right program for you, also when you're searching for the programs using our study finder, my suggestion would be a little bit more flexible with wordings in our study finder. Don't be too strict. And by combining all these suggestions, I'm more than sure you will drastically increase your chances of making the right decision, which again is one of the most crucial steps. Finding the right program and suitable program is one of the most crucial steps towards your future. Okay, that was all from my side. And yeah, as I always say, I mean, it's not that frequent when I'm presenting the program, which is located even northern of Germany, but this is now the case. We are moving to the Kiel University. You can see where it's located on the map. It's quite north of Germany. And now we're going to talk about master's program in agri-genomics. So I'm handing it over to Dr. Emrani.
Can you see my presentation in presenter mode?
Yes.
Okay, great. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to introduce our exciting master program, Agrigenomics at Kiel University, to everybody. I am Nazgul Emrani. I am the coordinator of this program at Kiel University. I'm going to take you through the outline that I'm showing you here. So first talking about, like general information about the Agrigenomics Master Program. Then I would give you a very, very short introduction about Kiel and Kiel University, and then discuss the features of the Agrigenomics Program. Then I help you meet the managing board and the program committee of the program, take you through the application procedure and admission, and show you some extra information about the semester schedule, for example, at Kiel University. Then show you very briefly the study plan, mandatory and elective modules of agrigenomics, which would, of course, apply to you later when you are admitted to the program, but it's good to have an idea what is expecting you. Then give you some information about tuitions, visa information, and accommodation. And at the end, I will introduce some important links to you that can be useful for you. So what is agrigenomics? Agrigenomics is short for agricultural genomics, which, as the name suggests, is the application of genomics in agriculture to improve productivity and sustainability, not only in crop production, but also in livestock production. We started this program in winter semester 2011-12. So the cohort that would follow, the one in winter semester 2024-25, would be the 14th cohort of the program. As of January 2024, we have had 1,528 applications from 72 different countries, from which 245 students enrolled so far. Where is Kiel? Georgi showed you on the map where Kiel is located. It's in the north of Germany by the Baltic Sea. It's a city of 250,000 people, is known for a variety of international sailing events, like the most famous one in the world, the Kiel Week. The Kiel University was founded in 1665. It has 8 faculties, around 27,000 students, 12 Nobel Prize winners, and it's a member of the German University's Excellent Initiative since 2006. What features the agrigenomics program would offer you? Because of the advancements in technology and the availability of complete genomes of plant and animals, it's much nicer, and we can get a much deeper insight into the evolutionary processes and adaptation, not only for crops, but also for animals. Therefore, we have new opportunities for selection and improving different traits of importance for crop and animals. Moreover, by knowing the processes that are behind different, plant pathogen interactions for different crops, for example, we can actually move away from application of chemical pesticides and move towards, genetic improvement instead. And these all would then require people, specialists, who are basically not only specialists in fundamentals of agricultural production, but also in the application of genomics in breeding in crops and livestock. The field of study of agrigenomics that is supposed to offer you all these opportunities is agriculture, genetics, molecular biology, botany, and zoology. It is 4 semesters, including master thesis, giving you 120 ECTS credit points. What are the career perspectives when you are done with this study program? We have had many different students over the years. Many of them ended up in life science and breeding companies. Many of them continued their academic career as PhD students first, then postdocs in different research institutes and universities. This is a picture of one of the very first students of agrigenomics, one of the very first cohorts, who defended her PhD in 2017 with a summa cum laude here at Kiel University. Who is the managing board of the program? The 2 spokespersons of the program are Professor Christian Jung and Professor 𝘗𝘢𝘪𝘥 from Kiel University. We have also other members, Professor Mühling, Professor Say, and Professor Stamm, who are all joining the program from different aspects and expertise, and basically empower the program to advance in all those different aspects. And the coordinator of the program and the advisor, as I told you already, would be me. Moving to the application procedure and admission. So the deadline for application is every year on the 15th of April. For the coming winter semester, which would be winter term 2024-25, the application period starts on March 1st and ends on April 15, 2024. The application is through UniAssist. You can see the link here on this slide. Please only apply through UniAssist. We don't receive any applications per email or any other means. So the only applications that we would work with and we would evaluate are the ones that are come from UniAssist. Admission to this program is only possible in winter terms, so we don't have any admissions in spring terms. Which documents are required? You need a very good letter of motivation that shows your motivation for the agrigenomics program. You have to provide your bachelor's certificate and transcript of records, school education certificates. You need to have English knowledge proof, because the whole program would be in English. All your lectures would be in English, and you have to also defend your thesis at the end in English. There are some further qualifications that the selection committee would definitely look at and would consider, but they are not necessary and mandatory for the program. Like if you have previously worked or had an internship or any other qualifications that you would like to provide a proof for. And for students, for applicants from some certain countries, we need a APS certificate. What kind of bachelor degree would make you eligible for the program? So a bachelor degree in agricultural science, biology, bioinformatics, biochemistry, genetics, and related disciplines with a grade not less than B- would be accepted. The selection, as I told you, so the application period ends in on 15th of April, and we perform a very fast selection. So the selection committee tries to meet up right away after the deadline ends to meet the selection. And there will be then a selection in May, and you would be then informed right away. So we would try to be very fast and efficient in this stage. If you are selected for the program, the selection would be performed based on bachelor degree. The letter of motivation is very important, your English knowledge, of course, and for your further qualifications. A final letter of admission will be sent to you by the International Center of Kiel University, with which you can apply for visa and start the enrollment procedure. Because I receive a lot of questions about language requirements, I would like to show it also one time here. So make it clear there are certain points that you need to achieve on each of the tests listed here. However, if you are from a country that English is a mother language, or if in your school you have studied in English, you can provide proofs for that. And we would consider that as language requirements, language proof, basically. What is the schedule at Kiel University? For example, in the upcoming winter semester, which would be our next cohort of agrigenomics, we start the lectures in October. We would have on the very first day of lectures a freshers welcome for all the new agrigenomics students, where we try to inform them about the program, maybe more in details. The lectures would end in February, so next year around the same time as now, we would reach the end of the first semester for the new students. There's always the case at Kiel University that 2 weeks after the end of the lectures and 2 weeks before the start of the next semester, we would have examination periods. And this would be then February and April for winter semester. For spring term 2025, we will start in the middle of April. The end of lectures would be in July, and the examination period would be in July and October 2025. What kind of modules we provide in this study program? So you see, the study is basically designed into 4 different semesters, 2 winter semesters and 2 spring semesters. You see in dark color all the mandatory modules, and in light color the elective modules. We have in total 10 mandatory and 6 elective modules. They all include lectures, seminars, practical courses, and excursions. We also have the possibility of campus internship and master thesis, which would be something that you can easily discuss with us when you start your work, your study here in the course, and then we will try to find opportunities for you. Just to give you an overview of our mandatory courses, I don't want to take you into details. In pictures, you see the picture of the lecturers of each course, and then you see, just by looking at the names, that we cover variety of modules in molecular biology, eukaryotic genomes, proteomics and biochemistry, crop and animal breeding, statistical and bioinformatics analysis, and so on. And here I provide you just a selection of our elective modules. Again, we have a very wide variety of modules. Would be more relevant to you when you start your work here, but just to give you an idea how diverse the portfolio of our elective modules is, I think this is a good overview. Again, we offer a lot of excursions, practical courses, seminars, and exercises apart from lectures. Tuition, University of Kiel is, or the study program is free of tuition, but the university has a 273 semester enrollment fee. But this fee includes costs for public transportation and the student service 𝘱𝘢𝘕𝑡𝑒𝑛werk Schleswig-Holstein, which you will see would be a very big and very helpful addition for your study here. For the visa information, I really advise you to start the procedure as early as possible, because we know that the procedure can take sometimes up to 5-6 months, unfortunately. So as soon as you have the admission letter, I advise you to make an appointment in the German embassy nearest to your residence. You should always check the websites of the German embassy to find all the guidelines and informations that are relevant for you. The International Center of Kiel University, however, also provides support in case you need some extra letters to, to be submitted to the German embassy, for example. You can always contact International Center and also contact me as the coordinator of the program. We would do our best to help you. And for accommodation, when you are here later, there are options by 𝘱𝘢𝘕𝘠𝑒𝑛werk. There are also some other opportunities. Once you get your admission letter and start planning for coming to Kiel, we can discuss those points then more in detail. I will show you a few important links at the end that would help you maybe inform yourself more in details about the study course, but also about Kiel. UniAssist would be the link that you would need for application to the program. The link to the International Center would be very helpful for you. And of course, Kiel University, our Faculty of Agriculture and Nutritional Sciences. I provide my email address, although you can find all this information also on the Agrigenomics website. And there are also some funding opportunities for students in Europe that you can find in this link. But again, that would be more relevant when you are admitted to the program and you join the program. And with this, I want to thank you for your attention, and I'm looking forward to your questions.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Dr. Emrani, for your interesting presentation. And let us move now to our next guest. Again, we are staying in Kiel, as I said, and now we will talk about Master of Science level program in Environmental Management, and I'm handing over it to our guests. Please.
So yeah, hello also from my side here from Kiel University. Can you see my slides?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to present my name is Tim Diekotter. I'm going to present together with Tobias Dohnert, who is one of the coordinators of the program, the Master Program of Environmental Management. And Environmental Management is a study program that's part of the Kiel School of Sustainability. Within this school, we have 4 different master programs that you can see here. So in addition to environmental management, we have the Master of Applied Ecology, a Master in Sustainability, Society and the Environment, and the Master of Environmental and Resource Economics. I'm focusing now on environmental management, but it's just to show you that within this Kiel School of Sustainability, you will sit together in some of the courses with people from these other programs, and that within the elective modules, there will also be the possibility to find modules from these other programs that can broaden your sort of perspective on some certain environmental issues. So the aim of this Kiel School of Sustainability is to support our students in contributing sustainable development at various scales, so local, national and international level. And as you have seen from these different programs, we also aim in this school to bring together well, in quotation mark, thinkers and problem solvers through an approach of research and problem-oriented teaching. Good, so now let me focus on the particular program, environmental management. What are our aims, or what can we offer? So we offer interdisciplinary education. We hope that the program enables our students to develop sort of complex, efficient, and sustainable management concepts. And thereby we hope that once you have run through the program, that you can sort of contribute to solving current and future environmental problems. The fields of research that we cover in the program are sort of quite diverse. So it reaches from nature conservation, applied ecology, soil protection, water protection, issues that address the Water Framework Directive, integrated coastal zone management, environmental monitoring, or sustainable land use. Similar to the sort of structure of agrigenomics, we have sort of on average 5 modules per semester. There was already the question whether you can reduce that or increase that in case you have other obligations. That is possible, of course, but you also need to pay attention to the fact that some of the courses are only provided in sort of the summer semester or the winter semester. So if you miss one of the courses that you need to take or that you would like to take, it may happen that you have to wait a full year to be able to attend this course again. So this is something that you need to take into consideration when you set up your study plan. So we have here in this structure, we have in yellow, the core modules. So those are modules that all of you have to take. And then we have the B section, which is called knowledge and analysis. And also the number of modules in this section is sort of fixed, but you can choose from various research areas that I'm going to show you in the next slide. Then we have section C, which is focusing on different scientific methods. And D are complementary studies that you can choose from this wide program that is offered in the Kiel School of Sustainability. And then, of course, in the last semester, you will mainly focus on producing your master thesis and the related research. Sort of in this B section, we have various areas of specialization, biodiversity and ecosystem services. Second, eco-hydrology and geoecology. Third topic would be human and environmental interaction in space and time. The fourth one is coasts and oceans. And the fifth one is environmental economics and politics. One specialty about environmental management is that you have the possibility to get a double degree with our partner university in Poznan in Poland. And this is cooperation not only within environmental management, but the whole university with different programs is sort of cooperating with Poznan. And we have every second year, we have an exchange of teachers and students and researchers between the two universities going back and forth. One time we meet in Poland and the other time we meet in Kiel. So if you decide to take some courses one semester in Poznan, you can get a double degree. That means you will have a certificate from Kiel University and one from Poznan University. Well, Nazgul has already mentioned that there are different types of teaching formats, obviously. So there is this very sort of traditional format of lectures that we also provide to teach you some of the basic knowledge, but then these are very interdisciplinary. So we have lectures that are given by members of the different faculties. So there are courses offered by the Faculty of Mathematics and Natural Sciences, the Faculty of Agricultural and Nutritional Sciences, but also the Faculty of Business, Economics and Social Sciences. Then we have various research institutes here in Kiel that also contribute to our teaching content. Very famous here directly in Kiel is the 𝘗𝘢𝘪 Helmholtz Center for Ocean Research. You may have heard about the Institute for the World Economy, but there are also other institutions like the Alfred Wegener Institute at Sylt, or the Helmholtz Center in Geesthacht with an Institute for Coastal Research. And then we have other partner universities besides Poznan that contribute in some of the modules. Sort of in addition to the lectures, we also have practical exercises and excursions. And it's our aim to also sort of have you working hands-on in some of the environmental issues. And here you can see some examples related to sort of eco-hydrology or to integrated management of rural and woodland areas. You can also see practicals that we run in laboratories. So it's a mixture of sort of in the field and laboratory practicals that are offered. Also in these sort of practicals, in the excursions, we try to have a transdisciplinary approach. So one of our modules here that Tobias Dohnert and I'm teaching, we actually meet farmers in the fields with different sort of management systems that they run, conventional systems or modern systems, as opposed to maybe organic system, which we sort of learn to know in sort of agricultural areas, but also in forestry sector. Then, of course, it's not only to sort of teach you knowledge or to give you insights into different perspectives, but also in these excursions, the socializing part is a main sort of thing. And yeah, as you can see here, it's a nice group atmosphere, and we highly appreciate sort of this part of your studies. What are the admission requirements? So you need a bachelor degree in sort of natural sciences or economics, in agricultural sciences, forestry, or geography, or sometimes also in the engineering sector, but with a particular relevance to the environment. You need to have at least a 2.5 or German good. I think you can get some help in the translation of your marking system to our marking system, or that's an automatic procedure then within the application. You also, it would be nice if in your motivation letter you can sort of prove some commitment in the environmental sector, like job experience, or you have volunteered in some organization in this area. You also need to prove your English language skills with 2 types of tests that you can show to us. And then the application, sort of we start in the winter term, and the application period will be from the 15th of February to the 31st of March. And as in agrigenomics, you can apply via the UniAssist platform. You can also follow sort of the program to get some more insights also from the students that post here on our homepage or the Instagram channel if you wanted to. And for those that have sort of maybe joined later, I'm going to repeat very shortly what Nazgul already started, a little general information about Kiel University in general, and also Kiel as a city to study. sort of Kiel University was founded in 1665. It's sort of a medium-sized university in Germany with around 27,000 students, about 3,700 employees, and it's the only full university in Schleswig-Holstein where you can sort of study the whole sort of a variety of topics. There is obviously, like in other universities, a huge variety of sport offers that you can take. Maybe one particular issue at Kiel, or one speciality, is that we have a lot of sort of water-related sport offers, sailing, rowing, and so on. Then, like in all university cities, we have sort of lively nightlife in Kiel. You see some examples here. Kiel has around 250,000 inhabitants, so the students make up sort of about 10%, and this is then also visible in the activities outside the university. Yeah, the sort of motto of Kiel University is basically studying where others go for holidays. And that's obviously related to our location here in Schleswig-Holstein. So we are very close to the Baltic Sea. So the Baltic Sea reaches into the city of Kiel. But also it's not very far to the North Sea. So it's the land between the two oceans. That's the slogan of Schleswig-Holstein. So usually we start with a welcome week. So we have a whole week with sort of in which you are introduced into the program, where we help you to understand the German university system, where you have the possibility to meet sort of your mates within the program, but also meet students from the other 4 programs within the Kiel School of Sustainability. Usually we do this with a potluck. This one was on a special occasion because it was sort of influenced by Corona, but usually it's obviously in the welcoming week than in the winter term. Yeah, as I told you, we think that there's a good spirit within the environmental management program, but also among students from the different programs that also have sort of joint activities. This is a crowd from one of the last years. And it would be nice to welcome you. So we're looking forward and hope to see you as part of this crowd in Kiel very soon. And if there are questions, Tobias Donath and I will try to answer them at the end of these presentations, or in the chat, or this question section. Okay, thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Professor, for another wonderful presentation. And now let us move to our third speaker for today, and then I will open the floor for the live Q&A session. And thanks everyone who is already addressing the questions. So now we are moving to TU Bergakademie Freiberg, and you can see that it's now we are moving more to the central part of Germany, so it's central east part of Germany, and we have Dr. Nohoth who will talk about a Master of Science level program in groundwater management. So
yeah, hello to everyone, and mainly of course to the students. My name is Niels Hoth, and I want to present about groundwater management, and we talk about Freiberg. And so the first thing, the typical aspect we have often with international students when they come from other countries, they think when they hear Freiberg about Freiburg, that would be a larger city in the southwest of Germany. And let's do it with a translation into English. Freiberg means we are an old city, the free mountain city. We are the free city on the mountains. Freiburg would be in the southwest. That would be the city with the free castle. Okay, you see where it is. And so a little bit more, that is a bird's view on our, we have to say small city. You will see later on roughly about 40,000 inhabitants. The red circle describes you, that is the city center with many old buildings, renovated of course, but from the 16th or 17th century. And very nearby, the blue colored circle here in the other part, that is mainly a part of the campus. So you are very nearby and always are close. The main idea to study in Freiberg is you are in a cozy, familiar atmosphere, and it's very near to the professors and your teachers and the staff, because we are not the many. Okay, groundwater management at TU Berg Academy. What is the general idea? I have highlighted and pointed out here to become an expert in these fields, and that means we couple technical background with leadership and business skills. And I will explain it by a story. I was so often in decision-making meetings. Me, as a technical person, tried to drive things in a technical way forward. And on the other side, there was guys around, they was in relation to do decisions in relation to the money and from the governmental point of view. And I will say quite harsh, they had no idea from the technical aspects. And that was sometimes, or I should not say often, frustrating. And so, you will work in another way because you will be decision makers afterwards. But the clear idea is you have a good basement in the technical topics and aspects. And that means also, how it is pointed out here, to empowering you to handle complex environmental issues in a professional way. That is research and practice-oriented program, a study program. As already said, it's not so much only to talk about theoretical aspects, models, etc., but to apply that. And then second very important thing is from all these technical modules to analyze data in a proper and a critical way. That is a very important aspect. But of course, although we want to focus the whole family of your teachers, that you can work in teams, that you work in a creative way, critical with your own data and your hypothesis, and act in the end in a responsible way. Let's step forward and have some pictures to form groups. Here's pointed out, the benefit will be that we try to have a practical methodological approach, which underpins different aspects. You see here lab courses and field practica. And when I look to these pictures, I remember to these guys, that was a group from South Africa, coupled to some colleagues or some students from Afghanistan that was in before the Taliban comes back. And when I look to these people, I remember, without exact names, but that is really a lady. She is as small as you see here. She comes from Lesotho. Nowadays, she is doing a PhD in Estonia, in eastern part of Europe, and she is really in before defending their thesis there, their PhD thesis. The Afghanian guys, that was afterwards when they went back to Afghanistan to do things better. It was very challenging, difficult, let's say terrible. Of course, they had to go out, and I know that some of them are now in North and South Germany, back to Germany, also when they had clearly the plan to do things better in Mazar el-Sharif or Kabul. Some guys around here from Iran, etc. And so I will sum up that I remember some written exams I had to control. There was students of more than 26 different countries around. And what is also pointed out here, the technical side is based on lab and field practice, but also important is in relation to important software, hydrogeochemistry and hydrogeologically pointed out here that you are taught with these software aspects in well-organized seminars. Further on, yeah, benefit of this practical and methodological approach, although excursions, colleagues from Kiel have also mentioned that for us, yeah, you see it's much more technical based in relation to all the mining aspects. I should already mention here, Freiburg University has an old mine site, an underground mine. It's a former old silver mine. We as university use also for different teaching and research purposes and aspects. And as you see here, for instance, in the right side, we are in contact to different companies, have to deal with issues, challenges with water treatment that is in relation to the former uranium mining in Eastern Germany. You have here the precipitation of iron phases, and so we include also external experts from the industry. Yeah, I already mentioned the former silver mine as own mine, where you can go underground, and we have different lectures, lessons, and yeah, labs underground. And next view to different examples in relation to later master thesis topics, and let's have a look somewhat. And that is now exactly to my group, the water side, the hydrogeochemistry. We have ongoing projects with Chilean partners, so South America, also to Peru, where we deal with aspects of recycling of metals inside mine waters, not only to think about how to treat, but to bring back copper, cobalt, etc. in the cycle of industrial usage. And yeah, there is, for instance, here an example of one master thesis. The next one, of course, here around, we are on the ore mountains, so-called, our region, and there we have a lot of old mining parts, mining galleries, and this is an example where the behavior of arsenic and how it is unfortunately introduced by such old mining galleries into the surface waters, and to study that with many different aspects. And the third example in relation to modeling issues of ionics exchange, separations. Yeah, it's a still new example, very nice. A Canadian student last week, we had the defense of the thesis, and it was since, I don't know how many years, the first examples that we had best mark you can get. It's a 1.0 in the German system. That was brilliant, and I hope that I can include this colleague Alexander, now a colleague hopefully, Alexander Hudson, in my team. Yeah, forward, when we look to the course structure at all, duration 4 semesters, you have compulsory modules, elective ones, and of course free electives. Not a detailed discussion what is in compulsory, but as I mentioned in the beginning, we have a part of technical modules which have typically the different aspects of water in mind, as written down here: groundwater chemistry, hydrogeology, mine water, etc. But of course also these business side, environmental management and policies, resource management, project management, etc., or project risk management. And for the elective ones, yeah, you have to get, at the moment, 21 ECTS credit points. Then you have 12 free electives. You can choose whatever you want to do at the university. It could be also German-based courses, if you would be able to follow the German. And in the end, the master thesis with 30 credits. If we would look in very detail in the program, and of course I will not explain it now, but you see that are the compulsory ones. In greenish here, you have the different choices about the electives. The only thing I want to point out, there's a clear idea of us that we included German lectures into the electives, so that you have the chance to do German courses in 2 different levels that can be included in your study program as credits, as elective ones, because we think it's very important for your general living behaviors here in Freiburg, that you are able to speak step by step a bit more German, but also some of the stuff in the labs also are not so good in English like all the teachers. So it is from a real plus if step by step you learn more German and are able to discuss different aspects also with some workers in the labs in German. Okay, further on. Now so much written things as the typical old guys and professor do on slides, hopefully not too boring, but later on we do a little bit slideshow. Yeah, we are a small university. I think at least from the second point of view, that is a big effort, a big benefit, because roughly 100 professors for roughly 4,000 students. So it's very families, ways are very near. Yeah, about the good facilities and the research and teaching mind I've already talked. The last thing on this slide I have highlighted, QS World Universities ranking in relation to geoscience, geoengineering. So we are on the 12th place worldwide. And so let's talk about some other aspects. Yeah, the semester fee. Let's say it's roughly €100, as you have seen in Kiel. When you compare internationally to US or England, yeah, it's in an unbelievable other level than what you will see there. Yeah, it's a town with long history, Freiberg. And I should point out this year, we are now round about half of our students in Freiberg comes with the international context, comes from abroad. And so I should underpin, we have a buddy program. That means when you come, elder students will support you. That starts really when you arrive by train or so. You have typically, if the study organizations are informed about, we have a typical program that there's someone of the elder students will welcome you and bring you to the students' hostel or something like that. We have a supporting system with mentors and tutors. Yeah, and if you have very good study results, then there's also the chance to get different also German-based scholarships. And now a little bit slideshow, advertisement. Of course, we are small, so I should show some things which are also, from other point of view, very impressive. Seems to me that is nearby our mind side when we look to the city in the winter. Of course, it can be also sometimes a bit cold, colder than in Kiel, I think so. That is our central market. We are roughly 40,000 inhabitants, and I can say really we, because I was born here. I'm a real native Freiberg. But now young guys like you think, oh, 40,000 inhabitants, what means that, such a small city? But we are not so far from Dresden. When you look on the left side, that is a brilliant city on the River Elbe, 40 kilometers away, 30 minutes with train. And I think one of the famous, nicest cities in Europe, Prague, is 150k away. So to be around a weekend in Prague, that is, I would say, unbelievable nice. Back to our students. I said, let's talk about roughly 40,000 students in Freiberg. So 55%, let's say roughly 50%, comes from abroad, mainly from Europe, as you see. Asia means, of course, some from China and India, but nevertheless also from Sri Lanka, Vietnam, and Indonesia, and Nepal, and so on, Pakistan, Bangladesh. Africa, of course, also, and a growing Corona was a little bit more difficult for that. South American community with Chileans, Peruvians, Venezuela, Ecuador, more or less all these countries. And as I said, also some from Northern America, some Canadians, some US guys. Application, I do the story short. Normally you can find all this information when you seek for groundwater management, a study program. Here's the email address, and Thorsten Meyer A guy from the International Center is also around here in this discussion round. If we come then later on to special discussions, he could help. And so I should mention the application for groundwater management is already open. It started somewhere in January and it's open up to the 15th of April. Yeah, life in Freiberg. Of course, an important aspect I should clearly mention is that we are small, we are not in the center of the world, it's clear, but the effort or the benefit from that is the prices for living is much smaller than in other cities. I would say roughly we talk about the full costs for a flat or let's say a room inside the students' hostel between 250 and 400 euros, and with all your internet connection, etc. I think that is really a plus. Yeah, and sports plays an important role at our university. You see here climbing, volleyball, things like gymnastics or cheerleading. I will not say whatever you think about sports you can do in Freiberg. Of course, soccer. And as written down here, there are different programs. You can get access to that, and that is detailed discussion when you are here around. And so activities to clear your head. We are not on the coast to the Baltic Sea, but a very impressive area is in general all mountains. You can go for hiking and biking there. And I like it to go in for cross-country skiing, typically in winter. But what is also very impressive, if our climbers around you, it's a must to come to Freiberg because the most important sandstone-based climbing area is nearby Dresden, the most important sandstone-based climbing area in Germany, and the oldest one in the world. Okay, enough advertisement and jokes. Yeah, and so I think although there is a lot of possibilities around, and yeah, the city of Freiberg is, as you have heard, not a really big one, but nevertheless, we have different festivals, celebrations, and also tourism. And so I would say the last word, an old guy should say somewhat about history. Yeah, Bergakademie Freiberg is nowadays the worldwide oldest school, which is mining and raw material based. Now I've learned today, and it was clear because of Hanse, that we are not so old as Kiel as university, but we was founded in the 18th century, as written down here, 1765. And seems to me most important is that you can ask questions. And so thank you for your attention. And I will close my slides.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And now, let me also open the floor for the live Q&A. First of all, thanks everyone who participated in answering the questions, because without your help, we would not be able to get even close to answering all the questions, but now we can. So let me start with one general question. So regarding the class sizes, let me start with Freiberg. What is the average class sizes at your program, you would say?
Sorry, I haven't understood your question in that moment.
No, the question is, what is the average class sizes at your study program?
Yeah, the average class sizes is 15 to 20 persons. Belongs a little bit. We had sometimes some years we had 25 or so, but in the last years also a little bit in relation to problems with visa. We dropped down to 15, something like that. And of course, sometimes the classes are not only given for groundwater management. We have a second program I have not mentioned that is nearby, but much more from the mining perspective. It's so-called sustainable mining and remediation management. And there are some courses they are given together for both programs.
Okay, clear. Great. Thank you. Let me now ask for the environmental management program in Kiel.
So we have normally class size is something between, if you look at the core modules, something at 15, 20 students. And the other modules, it's yeah, something 10 to 15, because then there are not mandatory modules, and so students spread across the different modules, and class sizes are smaller then.
Okay, clear, thanks. And for agrogenomics?
Yeah, it's also the same. So it's very similar. We have around 17 to 20 students in the core modules and the mandatory modules, and the elective modules usually less because not everybody takes the same module.
Okay, great. Thanks. Thanks a lot. Now question for Freiberg. Let me combine these two questions. One asks that if I have a renewable energy background, do I qualify for the program? And another one says that I have the background in agribusiness management from Afghanistan. Do I qualify? Of course, it's a very general question, only based on one aspect, but still, what you would say?
Okay, of course, then I have to discuss it a little bit more in detail, and let's separate the first question first and the second afterwards. The first one, I think from a general point of view with renewable energies, the clearly answer depends on, because you have to hand in, or you can hand in all your materials, but then it's often also a question to look really in detail which modules you have done. And so, of course, there starts the aspect, if you have no relation to water at all, then, of course, we have to discuss what that means in relation to the program. But from the other point of view, our typical discussion in the commission would be, it is also related to see to what is your motivation letter, and also what they are the results, your marks in relation to your program you have studied as a bachelor or as master in before. It was case number one. And case number two came from Afghanistan, and it was more agricultural based, you said?
Yeah,
or?
agribusiness.
Agribusiness. Okay, it's a little bit the same direction of answer, because agribusiness means this business side, it's clear, should be relevant or already done, etc., etc. We have typically students with the agricultural business, clear. And also there, it's a question of, what is the real background of modules they had inside their former study program. And I remember, from Indonesia or also from some African countries, we had already students which came more with an agricultural based study program in before, and also sometimes more with a business side. Hopefully that answers more or less.
Yeah, great.
Questions.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Now let me ask the question for environmental management specifically. There was a question regarding the specializations, and so it was mentioned during the presentation and in the answer also, but I think the question was more about, from this list of specializations during the studies, can students choose only one field, or also two fields can also be chosen, or more? I don't know. Yeah, what would you say?
In general, that depends on your interest. So we have in all sections enough modules so that you could only specialize in one section, but you can also choose courses from all 5 sections. That's also not a problem. And in addition, you have the science projects, which are core modules, where you can also specialize in your favorite direction of environmental sciences, or you can also cover different areas. So we are very flexible with that.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Dr. Emrani, now I have a question for you. I will not ask you any question regarding the language requirements because you answered so many that I saw. I think it's pretty clear now. I have a question regarding this. There was a question regarding the unofficial transcript, but let me reformulate this question from the different manner. So if the student, for example, is in the process of completing her bachelor's, and so the final transcript is not there, but there's a preliminary official transcript still there.
Yes.
What would you say? Can students apply? Or
Yes, yes, they can apply, and that also applies to the language certificate. Maybe I should mention it here, because sometimes, you know, the applicants, they registered for the IELTS or TOEFL test, but the test has not happened yet, and then now the deadline for application is approaching, and they want to submit their application. So I suggest you always send a certificate, a document that shows that you are registered for the next upcoming TOEFL or IELTS exam in your region. That would suffice for us for the selection procedure, but by the time of admission at Kiel University, you need to provide the language proof, and also in case of transcript of records, they need to provide their final transcript of records by the time of admission at Kiel University. But for the application itself, because there is a few months, you know, difference between the time of application and time of admission, it is okay if you apply with a preliminary document.
okay, great. That's very good to know. Thank you very much for a very comprehensive answer. And let me now ask.
Can
Yes,
I
please.
come in, because we had this information from Kiel? I should underpin for Freiburg. It's more or less the same. You can, of course, do your handing in the materials if it is in a status in before official ended. But nevertheless, afterwards, it will be controlled. And of course, it would be better if it is ended. But if you are in the situation that it's not finished, so yeah, you can apply with this status in before.
Perfect. Great. Thanks. Let me ask you now two general questions, and then we can call it a day. One question was regarding the housing situation. So that's why I will ask Kiel both programs together, because you are in the same city. So what would be your suggestions for the students regarding the housing, when they should apply for the dormitories, for example, and how is the situation generally in Kiel in this regard? Is it hunting, crazy hunting, or it's moderate hunting, so to say?
Tim, maybe, or you guys want to answer?
Now you started and I add, but
okay.
I'm sure.
Yeah, so I recommend applying for housing as soon as possible, as soon as they know that they are admitted to the program, and you know, they know that they want to join the program, because yeah, there is unfortunately a competition here, and we have a few students every year that are still struggling by the time of semester start to find a place. So I would definitely recommend application as soon as possible. As I said, on the website of the International Center and also Studentenwerk, you can find a lot of information about housing. It's also very helpful. Usually students also approach us, contact us, and we try to also bring them into contact with, you know, people who can help. We have always found a solution so far, but I really suggest that they apply much in advance, so they will have more chances.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, so hardly any to add, so that was wraps it quite well. On our webpage, you also find a welcome brochure of the student government, where they also give links how to find a flat or dormitory place in Kiel. And I can also only underpin that, yes, we always find a solution for the students that come.
Yeah, no one will be left on the streets. So
no, did not happen.
Great, great. And the same question for Freiburg, of course.
Now, of course, comes a big benefit plus from a smaller city. Of course, we have not a hunting situation. Dormitories or students' hostels, of course, there is always a good idea to point out as early as possible that you are interested in that, and you will find information of our web pages in detail, International University Center. But as you have seen also in the prices, the situation, it's much less than in larger cities. Yeah, that is a big plus for Freiburg.
Yeah, great. And last question, and then we can finalize our webinar. So there was a question regarding the PhD, and then I would like to ask first, maybe start with Freiburg. again, you don't have to have the exact numbers, but what would you say in general after finalizing your master's degree? Do students continue also with a PhD? What is the portion of that? And who, for example, continue immediately with the industry?
Of course, in detail to answer it absolutely exactly, I should look in before what are the numbers. Let's say it in this way. For instance, in my group nowadays, I have more or less, I would say 80 to 90% of students which have studied in my both programs. That is also in relation to German labor issues also, but nevertheless, I have one colleague now from Sri Lanka, one from Slovakia, two from Indonesia, one hopefully further soon from Canada, etc. So they go in direction to PhD. And in relation to industry nowadays, and that's why I think German courses, if you think about industry and working in Germany, more by step, more students goes over to jobs in Germany, also nearby Freiburg or also South Germany, Berlin, etc. But therefore, it's very important that you start more or less immediately to learn German, because that is a big issue. And so the portion, of course, we understand our program also that it is important for the countries the people come from, that the knowledge which was transferred goes back to the countries. I think that is a very important issue. Long debate, we could start now what develops in this direction. As I mentioned with the Afghanian program, for instance, or all the South Africans went back and are now there in different mines and governmental positions, etc., etc. Portions, I'm not really sure. I should not come with wrong numbers, but you get an idea, it goes in both directions.
Okay, great. No, it was a very good answer. Thank you. And the same question, of course, for both programs in UNIKIL. Whoever would like to start, please.
I think it's very similar here, that for the international students, it's obviously oftentimes attractive then to go back with this education here to their home countries, also because of the language. We have some that stay for PhDs later on in our groups, or other universities in Germany where sort of English is the common language in a lot of research groups. Yeah, and if you have sort of skills in German language, it's obviously also possible not only to work in the industry, where I think in most cases English would also be a good language in the industry, but if you wanted to go into environmental administration or environmental organizations, then it would be more helpful or important to acquire German language skills. If you have those, I think from environmental management, the possibilities for later sort of jobs and careers is very diverse, and it offers you a lot of opportunities.
All right, great. I think that answered. It was a general answer from Kiel. No one wants to add anything. Okay, perfect. All right, then we are very good in time, and let me thank everyone for joining. First, our guests for joining, for your presentations, and for answering so many questions. We covered a lot of questions, and also, of course, for the attendees, for your interest, for tuning in. Hopefully, you'll manage to get into your desired program very soon. Whenever you have any general questions regarding studying in Germany, of course, you can get in touch with us. I saw there's some GPA conversion questions, UniAssist questions, some visa, etc., etc. Of course, you can read our articles on that, attend our webinars on that, and also get in touch with us. But if you have more general, also specific questions to one of those programs, you can also get in touch with them for the follow-up questions, and I'm sure that they will help you out to find the best possible answer. That being said, once again, thanks everyone, and have a nice rest of the day. Take care, and bye-bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye to all of you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.